less Michigan. All right, so Bernie Sanders did a speech today, and he basically didn't drop out. Yesterday, we had a bunch of new voting. I believe Michigan was one of the states. There were a few others, Washington. Joe Biden increased his delegate count, and it's looking like he's definitely going to win. Bernie Sanders has repeatedly said on television he will endorse and support Joe Biden. He's also said he won't even take him to contested convention. So if Bernie Sanders was leading in delegates, but he didn't cross the thresholds, you can guarantee that Joe Biden would not drop out. They would go to the Democratic convention and probably handpick their candidate. But Bernie Sanders is such a nice guy that he said, you know what, I won't even contest the convention. I'll just give it to you. If you got more votes, you got it. So, this is what I want Bernie people to know. I know the Trump people probably don't like Bernie, but if there's any progressives that listen to me, I really want you to hear what I'm saying because I'm trying to be as nice as possible. Bernie Sanders, in my personal perspective, and I think you'll figure this out in the next coming months, he's not who you think he is. If you look at his policies, whether it be on trade, on foreign policy, on pretty much every topic there is, he's nothing like Joe Biden. Nothing like Joe Biden. And when it comes to voters like me, it's deeper than just even domestic policy. When it comes to Trump and Hillary Clinton, what would she be doing with North Korea? Hillary Clinton, what would she be doing with Syria? How would she have handled it differently? I mean, if you look at the Obama administration with Hillary as Secretary of State, you're talking about entire countries like Libya being basically bombarded, kill the leader, slavery, ISIS all over Syria. There's a big difference between Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, and it's not all progressive versus Republican. There's a lot of establishment versus anti-establishment vibes, although there is some overlap. The point I'm getting to is, in 2016, Bernie Sanders endorsed Hillary Clinton, and I didn't vote for Hillary Clinton. I voted for Jill Stein at the time because I knew my vote didn't count. I tried to get her above the threshold so she could be in the debates. I still think it's a strategic vote to this day. If she's in the debates, I guarantee, even if you don't like Jill Stein, she'll be talking about a lot of stuff that Trump and Biden won't talk about, so I stand by my vote there. However, Bernie's not the guy. This year, he did absolutely nothing. I know if you're a progressive and you're watching this, he's a weak loser. And I don't say that to be mean. I'm not like a bully, like, you're a loser, go in the corner. The guy is a loser. I mean, he raised hundreds of millions of dollars in 2016 to support the establishment, and Hillary Clinton drops a Hulu television show and says, nobody likes Bernie Sanders. And Bernie still just goes around the country, I'll do whatever you want. I'll be a PR team for you. Yes, I'll support you. We must defeat Trump, whether it means blow up Syria or Libya or start World War III or fight Russia or do whatever, sell our country out to China. And I'll do it. He's not a revolutionary. He's like, I'm starting to figure it out because I've been kind of making fun of him on the low. But I'm really figuring out who Bernie Sanders is. And I think I've nailed it. He's the guy who likes to talk about what he wants to do, but when push comes to shove, he doesn't actually want to do it. I'll give you an example. There's people who sit in the bleachers and just say, I could be better than you. You should do this. You should do that. You should do this. And then when you turn to them and say, you want to do it? Oh, no. Oh, no, I'm Bernie Sanders. I don't actually want to implement my progressive policies. I just want to scream and try to force the Democrats to do what I want them to do. But then when it comes time to actually stand up for myself, I'm going to run behind Joe Biden and run behind Hillary Clinton. Oh, please protect me from Donald Trump. Please, Joe Biden. He doesn't actually believe in what he says he wants to do. He wants to try to force Biden and Hillary further left into his policies, but he doesn't want to take the steps to actually implement them. Because when you look at his plan to implement them, you'll realize that you can't actually do it. I'll give you an example. I'm an environmentalist. Clean the air, clean the water, clean the ocean. The United States and the world, we're doing a terrible job in my opinion, we're doing a bad environmental job. So if I want to be president and I want to clean the environment, I have to strategically figure out how are we going to fix the environment? How am I not going to destroy millions of jobs? How am I not going to leave people out of work? How am I not going to mess up the economy? How am I not going to mess up the petrodollar, what our entire, foundation of our currency, relies on? You have to be strategic and really figure out how to do it. What does Bernie Sanders do? He says the world's going to end in 8 years. It's not going to end in 8 years. Everybody knows that. They've been saying this for 40, 50 years. People in Florida know. They've been telling them they're going to be under sea for decades. Even my left-wing friend from Florida, he's like, people are losing trust in Florida because they've been telling us we're going to be underwater for like 50 years now. They're not telling the truth. But Bernie puts out this grandiose plan and says, here's how I'm going to pay for it. I'm going to create 20 million new jobs with the Green New Deal. I like ideas of clean energy, but I know Bernie's not going to be able to create 20 million new jobs. Has he ever created a job in his life outside of his campaign? Bloomberg and Trump, I'm not saying they're great people, but I'm a small business guy. I don't even hire anybody. To hire 2 people, 3 people, it's not easy. 4 people, let alone 20 million people, he can't do that. And the point I'm trying to get to is Bernie knows he can't do that. He knows it's not possible to do what he wants to do. He just wants to say it, and when push comes to shove to actually fight for his agenda, he doesn't want to fight for it. He's going to hide behind Joe Biden. Joe Biden is nothing like Bernie Sanders. He's different on trade. He's different on foreign policy. He's different on domestic policy. He's different on healthcare. Bernie is nothing like Joe Biden, but Bernie doesn't want to do what he says he wants to do. He wants to just point the finger, say the same 6 lines on repeat, hope someone else can do it, and then run in the shadows to support the establishment. He's going to be a PR team for the establishment. Jill Stein, she fights the establishment. Tulsi Gabbard, she fights the establishment. Bernie Sanders, he is the establishment. He's a PR team for them. He's going to defend Biden and call you a Russian hack or something if you want to vote for Trump or vote for a third party. So the point I'm trying to get to is, man, if you want to be progressive, first of all, you should take a real look at what the policies are. It means big government. It's like, all right, Bezos has too much money. I'll give you more examples, then we're going to move on. Bezos has way too much money. Bezos is not a trustworthy guy. But what are you going to do with his money? If you're going to seize his money via government taxes, which I'm not saying I'm okay for, but I would be if there was a plan, what are you going to do with that money? How are you going to make sure government functions properly? Government wastes more money than billionaires waste. Do you think billionaires waste money? Look at the federal budget. Look at the Pentagon. Look at the audit. Look at Obamacare website. Look at virtually everything the government does. Progressives don't trust the government. But that's why Bernie says, I'm going to take all of Bezos' money, and we're going to take the billionaires' money, and we're going to give it to the federal government. If you can't figure out why that's not a good idea, he doesn't have a plan. He doesn't have a plan to stop the corruption in the government. The corruption is the Romneys, the Bushes, the Bidens, the Clintons, the McCains. Bernie's a PR team for these people. He's not fighting the Koch brothers. He just, the Koch brothers are corrupt. Well, then why are you in agreement with them? Why are you going to support the candidate they're going to support? They don't like Trump. Trump has called them out too. So the point I'm getting to, I'm not saying Trump is totally scot-free, but Bernie's not the guy you think he is. He's not a revolutionary. He's a PR team for the establishment. He has no problem supporting and endorsing Joe Biden. He's wanted to do it the whole time. He doesn't want to be president. He doesn't want to implement his policy. He wants to sit in the shadows and tell everybody else how to do stuff because he knows that he can't actually do it. He knows that he's just like a little pest, really, at this point. And I used to love the guy. I thought he was the real deal in 2016. I watched what he did. He supported the Russiagate, the phony coup on President Trump. He supported all of the media's lies. He said, you must be Russian if you didn't want to vote for Hillary Clinton. He said, oh my goodness, Trump is racist, sexist, and xenophobic, when in reality, his immigration policy is similar to Bernie's immigration policy 10 years ago. Bernie was against H-1B visas because he understands that importing cheap labor from India hurts the American wages and it has nothing to do with xenophobia. They do it because corporations want to make a bigger profit. And if you can't, say Bernie says $15 minimum wage, well, what if you can take minimum wage for $5 with an illegal immigrant or maybe $10 with a work visa? He doesn't have a real plan. That's why he doesn't want to win. He just wants to talk. Everything's racist, everything's sexist, everything's xenophobic. Green New Deal, I'm going to create 20 million new jobs. The world's going to end. All right, are you going to fight Joe Biden? Are you going to call him out? Tucker Carlson does a better job of calling Joe Biden out. Joe Biden's corrupt to the core. Look at his connections to Ukraine. Look at his connections to China. Look at his shilling of the credit card companies. Look at his, look at his crime bills. Look, anything Joe Biden's ever done his whole life, Bernie softballs him. He's not trying to take down the establishment. Bernie Sanders is softballing Joe Biden because he knows he's going to endorse Joe Biden, and he never tried to take him down. He never cared. He's not who you think he is. And you got to really take a look at progressive policies. Crystal Ball, Jimmy Dore, Kyle Kulinski, Glenn Greenwald, these are progressives with a soul. These are progressive Bernie supporters who believe in Bernie, but Bernie doesn't even believe in himself. They support him more than he supports himself. And you got to understand, they're right about Russiagate, they're right about the wars, they're right about regime change. They call out right-wingers in a lot of honest ways. But overall, the big flaw of Crystal Ball, Jimmy Dore, Kyle Klinsky, and these great people is they think big government will solve the problem. It's never, you can't take a corrupt government that you're not willing to, like a Bernie, not willing to do anything about, support them, and expect that they're going to be able to hand the health industry or handle this stuff. Our government doesn't do much very efficiently, So you got to think of these things. You could take all of Bezos' money, all of Bill Gates' money, all of Warren Buffett's money, give it to the federal government, and they'll waste it in 2 weeks. They don't handle money properly. So if you're going to take wealth from small businesses, mom and pop shops, entrepreneurs, you have to really understand the whole circle, which Bernie used to do 15 years ago, but now he's too big of a pander. Everything's racist. He used to believe in border security. He used to believe in gun rights. He used to believe against work visas because he actually cared about the American worker. He's just funneling hundreds of millions of dollars so he can lie to progressives and then tell them to vote for Joe Biden. On that note, I want to talk about Michael Moore for a second. Michael Moore is a prime example of what I think a lot of progressives need to hear. It might come off as mean, but hear me out. Michael Moore has a net worth of around $50 million. This is a very wealthy guy. Michael Moore is extremely overweight, and I'm not being disrespectful. I'm not being a bully. I'm just stating the facts. He's on MSNBC talking about healthcare. Healthcare. We got to take care of our nation's healthcare. Michael Moore can afford what 99.9% of Americans can't afford. Michael Moore can afford a personal trainer. Michael Moore can afford a personal chef. Michael Moore can afford a life coach. Michael Moore can buy a house and pay for $10,000 a month rent for a life coach, a fitness, and create his own fitness room and create an entire lifestyle for himself to lose a couple hundred pounds because he's massively overweight and it's unhealthy. That's just a fact. I'm not being mean. The point I'm getting to is he doesn't have any self-accountability or self-awareness. So he's just on television trying to lecture the nation on healthcare, take care of our health. Our country has a huge obesity problem. Our country has a huge mental health problem. Healthcare and the health insurance industry could be better, but if our country stopped eating so poorly, watching so much TV, and took care of ourselves and exercised more, we can eliminate like 50% of what's killing our nation overnight by ourselves, with no Donald Trump, with no Bernie Sanders, with no health insurance company. Blue Cross Blue Shield can't help you. They don't talk about preventative health. They want you to be sick, whether it's the Trump care, Bernie Sanders care, Romney care, Obama care. They don't care if you're sick because they get paid off of the vaccine. They get paid off of the pill. They get paid on the doctor visit. They don't want you to stop the sickness in the first place. Watch a successful health entrepreneur. They'll tell you, clear out the mucus in your throat. Do these things and you won't get sick all the time. I've made 3 changes in my life. I stopped touching my face and my mouth. I started actually, taking care of myself a little bit. I started eating healthier. I started, not having so much mucus because I don't eat foods that create mucus. I haven't had a sore throat in 3 years. Bernie Sanders is not going to tell you that. Trump's not going to tell you that. Michael Moore is certainly not going to tell you that. But the point I'm trying to get is Michael Moore is a perfect example of a lot of this progressive hive mind ideology. This guy has all the money in the world to hire anybody he wants to improve his own health, but he looks at government and thinks government's going to save his health. Bro, no one can help your health as much as you can, especially Michael Moore. He needs to lose 150 pounds and he'll take care of his own health, but he doesn't do that. He sits on television screaming about government-run healthcare. Bro, hire a personal trainer, hire a chef, hire a life coach, and take care of your own health, and you could eliminate probably 80% of the diseases you're very likely to get because of your current physical situation. But this is the difference in mindset between, government's going to solve all my problems. They're going to take care of healthcare. They're going to take care of the billionaires' money. They're going to make me healthy. They're never going to make you healthy. I don't like Trump's health insurance. I don't like Bernie's health insurance. I don't like anyone's health insurance. I don't like the insurance industry. I don't trust the healthcare industry. They do good work to, fix my foot or, like limbs and stuff. They do really good surgery work. But when it comes to medicine, I personally don't trust them. I think there's a lot of over prescriptions. We have a mental health problem. We have an obesity problem. We have a mindset problem. We have a cultural problem, and no amount of health insurance is going to solve that. So to see a guy that's massively not taking care of himself and everything he's doing is completely preventative and he has all the money in the world to fix it, he won't do it. He's exactly what progressives, they tend to attract. People that don't want to take self-accountability, people that have no self-awareness, or if it's not that, this nihilist idea that no God, no morality, everything's corrupt. Come on, guys, just take a little bit of self-accountability and you won't have this problem. So, on that note, with the Bernie and Michael Moore stuff, there's definitely corruption on Wall Street. There's definitely corruption in the healthcare industry. There's definitely corruption overseas. You need to be strong. Bernie is not strong. He's a total weakling. I don't think he believes in what he believes in. Tulsi Gabbard is much, much, much more courageous, calling out Hillary Clinton, calling out Biden, calling out Trump, actually making sense half the time, suing Google. Tulsi's a real leader, and progressives are very foolish to go with Bernie Sanders. That guy is just a grade A coward. It's ridiculous. And on that note, Andrew Yang, and people have been asking me about him for a year and a half. They've been, Namely, what do you think of Andrew Yang? Namely, Yang seems authentic. He seems really cool. And Namely, what do you think of Andrew Yang? And I've always said the same thing. I'm not trying to be mean, but I've never liked Andrew Yang. I've never thought he was authentic. I watched his Ben Shapiro interview. I watched his television interviews, and nothing he ever said to me made sense. He'd scapegoat a problem that wasn't real. He'd say, "Oh my God, all of these jobs are going to go overseas." He's like, all of the phone industry jobs are going to go overseas soon. When's the last time you called customer service and got somebody in America? Newsflash, Andrew Yang, they're all already overseas. I would guess 90% of call service jobs are already overseas. So he scapegoats this problem that doesn't even exist, that, of course, it's not like this chaotic thing that's going to destroy America. Oh my God, what about Uber and Lyft, Andrew Yang? Uber and Lyft created millions of new jobs and better, more flexible work hours. Oh no, Industrial Revolution. They've been saying this stuff since the 20s. Anyway, he'd make up these fake problems, and he'd say, we need $1,000 a month, $1,000 a month, $1,000 a month. It's going to solve homelessness. It's going to solve this. Never believed him. Never thought he was cool. Never thought he was authentic. Total liar. The dude's on oh my God, Russia. Oh, Trump and Russia, Trump and Putin. Oh, cool, Andrew Yang. Yeah, totally, bro. Yeah, huh. So I never thought this guy was cool. He never made sense to me. And what does he do? He gets millions of people into the political process. Wow. Andrew Yang is very cool. He got a lot of Asians who never liked politics. And I'm not stereotyping. I'm just being honest. I have a lot of Asian friends, Asian rappers who love Andrew Yang. It's okay to be. It's just the same reason why Obama got a huge portion of the black vote. There's nothing racist about looking at statistics. And then they try to say the other way. Oh my God, if you like, Nancy Pelosi, ooh, I'd vote for any woman. What about Tulsi Gabbard? She's the only woman less in the race. Oh no, not that woman. These people are full of crap, guys. They're so tribalistic, and then they say if you're tribalistic, you're this threat to society. It's ridiculous. But anyway, Andrew Yang got millions of people. He got tech people involved. He got poker players. He was a real popular guy in the world, and he got people involved in the political process. And what does he do with that? He goes to CNN, and he's telling everybody to endorse Joe Biden. So, hey guys, look at me. I'm so new. I'm so fresh. Go watch CNN. Go vote for Joe Biden. It was a setup the whole time, guys. He was never cool. He was never authentic. He was never what people thought he was. I could see through him the whole time. He's like, Russia, Trump. I work for CNN. Vote for Joe Biden. He's probably trying to wrangle a bunch of people like workers. Hey, workers, vote for Joe Biden. Hey, tech people, vote for Joe Biden. The dude is totally phony. But I always thought he was. The thing about $1,000 a month, too, before I move on to the next topic, that people don't get with progressivism and leftism, and you're seeing it in Los Angeles, you're seeing it in San Francisco, a homelessness problem. It's not a housing problem. People keep saying it's a housing problem, these people are poor, they need a house. It's not a housing problem. The housing issue is a percent, but it's not 100%. It's probably like a 10 to 20% problem. Most of the problem is a mental health problem and a drug problem. Most of it. You see a veteran on the street, or you see somebody on the street, a lot of them need help, and they don't just need a house to stay in. They need mental health facilities. They need how to get off drug facilities, and they need some real communal help here. They don't just need a house. So the point I'm getting to is, would $1,000 a month, giving everybody $1,000 a month, yes, that's nice, everyone has a little more money, would that solve the problems of the world? Would that solve homelessness? Would that solve work shortages? No, it incentivizes laziness. And I'm not saying that to be mean or rude or cold, but with any welfare program, you have to make sure that it's helping people and driving people to success, not keeping people in the trap. Right now, our welfare programs, they trap people. And, a lot of people call the hood or the ghetto the trap for good reason. It is a trap in many ways, and one of those ways are the programs that they hand out. Why is it a trap? Because you get the money unless you make a certain amount of money. If you do well enough in your career, they take the money away. So a lot of people are like, why would I work my ass off to make $40,000 a year when if I do that, I'm actually going to lose my house, lose my car, I'm going to make less. So they incentivize people to not work. And that's the problem with the welfare system in America now. It's too easy to get. It's hard to get off of. It's not a smart tiered system. Same with the $1,000 a month. Is that going to solve homelessness? No. A lot of the problem in Los Angeles with homelessness now is they get money. They get a couple $100s, and a lot of these people have no incentive to move. You have to give people incentive and show them the light. You can't just hand things out to people. And I'm not trying to sound like an old conservative that doesn't care, but it's just psychological. It's like the same with, me. If someone handed me $10,000 a month not to do anything, I probably would do a lot less than I am now, and I would lose, purpose. There's a good billionaire, his name is Notch. He created Minecraft, made billions of dollars, and sold the company. He said, I'm more depressed now than I am ever. He has billions of dollars, but he has no purpose. His purpose was running Minecraft. When he sold it, he lost all the purpose in the world. Even with all the money in the world, you need to have purpose. You need to have drive. You need to have ambition, or else you need to have something that keeps you going, or else it doesn't work out. The point I'm getting to is, Yang, after all this talk about how cool and authentic he is, he took a job at CNN and he's wrangling all his people to support Joe Biden. Just like Bernie Sanders is doing. They take all the people, they take all the money, and then when push comes to shove, they say, go vote for Joe Biden. I support him. He's great. So you got to be, once 2016 hit and Bernie Sanders fooled me, I'm not easy to fool anymore. I saw how these people operate. I look for red flags, and anytime I heard Yang talk, I never really agreed with him. He'd say, this is the problem, this is the problem, this is the problem, this is the solution. But all the problems he would point to, in my perspective, were not problems. You think people haven't been saying this? Obama said, we're never going to get these jobs back. Once they created tractors, oh my God, we're going to go out of business. We're not going to have farmers. Once they created this technology, oh my God, the internet is going to destroy the economy. Paul Krugman, who's a Nobel Prize winning economist who hates Trump, who always says the stock market's going to crash, he said that the internet would have no greater effect than the fax machine. He said the internet's irrelevant. It's going to have and then the internet's going to take jobs. Everything works itself out. It always does. We have a lot of jobs. The economy's doing well besides the C virus thing. So don't buy into all that nonsensical hype. These are downward thinking things. That's why they lead you to Joe Biden. It's the victim mentality. There's nothing we're going to do. People need this. No, we'll figure it out, bro. Uber, Lyft, inventions, creations. As you guys are dooming and glooming about all these things that never happen, we're out here creating the future and paving it with gold. Let's talk about the coronavirus, since it's all over the news and it seems to be a big thing. So here's a few things. I've been able to sit on it for a few weeks, look at stuff. We've talked about it a few times, but things are becoming more clear. A lot of people say it's a lie, it's a hype, they're overhyping it, they're trying to destroy the economy and scare people. Some people are saying, no, it's seriously real, don't say that, that's dangerous, we need to really take precautions because this is something that we've never seen before. Here's my thoughts right off the bat. I'm no scientist, obviously, but they say they know the death rate of coronavirus. They say the death rate is 2% or 3% or 4%, whatever they're saying it is, a percent. They're saying it's more deadly than the flu. Here's my thoughts. Talk to people who have called for a test for coronavirus. They call, they're on for an hour, they hang up. Most people in America that try to get tested for coronavirus at this point, or at least in the early stages, they couldn't even get tested. I know people that are trying to figure out how to even get a test for coronavirus. They're not prepared to even test people. So how do we even know how many people have coronavirus? So if there's 5,000 people who had it, this is an example, not what happened. 5,000 people who had it, 200 people died. It must be a 2%, 3%, rate. I'm just spitballing. How do you know? There could be 100,000 more people with it that don't experience symptoms, mild or no symptoms, never get tested, never go to a doctor. They don't know. So they're not calculating that, in my perspective, into the equation. My guess is, just off top, that it's not as deadly as they're saying, because I'm guessing probably like around 50 to 90% of people who have it aren't even tested. Once again, I'm not trying to say this is the word of God or the rule of law, but I know how hard it is to even get tested in America. Most people I know never got tested that don't feel well. They call and they get hung up on, they don't have it. So are these numbers accurate? The amount of people versus the amount of death? I personally don't think so. But once again, listen to your doctor or the government or whatever if you want to do that. So that's my thought with the inconsistency is they're all bragging about this death rate, but they don't even know how many cases there truly are. And I'm guessing there's many, many, many more than they're saying because they don't. Next thing I want to say is I do think that it's going to be costly towards America, and the hype is real because of how they're treating it. In Italy, they're on quarantine. This is stuff out of nightmares. 6 years ago, people always said to me, Anomaly, are we going to have martial law? Would we have martial law? Would we have martial law? I always said I'm not worried about it because the police and the government, these people are not going to turn against us. At least the police officers, the military, a lot of them are patriots and they're not going to just confiscate guns and do crazy stuff. But now, they are putting entire places on lockdown in Italy, and even in America, there's certain places where they're using the National Guard. This is stuff of nightmares a few years ago where you can't leave your house. You're basically on martial law lockdown, and they're quarantining you to the house, and they say if you want food, the National Guard will come bring it. So this is the thing that people should be prepared for, in my opinion, and concerned about. Don't be scared. Don't be fearful. Don't buy into the hype, but be prepared. Because no matter how lame you think this coronavirus is, no matter how overhyped you think it is, no matter how, non-deadly you might think it is, no matter how, big of a joke you think it is, if the government and the police and the National Guard decide to come to your town or your city or your area and put it on lockdown, it doesn't matter the truth of the virus. It doesn't matter what you think. It doesn't matter, what matters is you might not be able to leave your house, and if you do, you're going to have to deal with the police or the government. I hope that doesn't happen here. I think we hopefully have it under control, but if you listen to Pence and the Trump administration, they keep saying it's going to get worse, it's going to get worse, it's going to get worse. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the store today. I'm going to buy more food. I have food, but I'm going to buy enough for like 2 weeks or a month. I'm going to buy a lot of water and just be prepared. I personally have mixed feelings about this whole thing. One, I'm a little bit disappointed that there's not more investigation into where it started. I have heard reports that, oh no, it's carbon dated. We know it's the same as carbon dating. We can find out where the virus came from. There's so many creepy things around this, including they've been bragging about in Wuhan. In Wuhan is where China keeps, 1,500 or around that number of viruses. They're bragging. They have the nation's biggest virus bank there where they keep all the viruses. Okay. And then they're bragging about this is the first ever level 4 lab we've created where we study, very spreading pathogens, blah, blah, blah. Well, that's not suspicious. You have the chair of the Harvard microbiology or whatever it's called, the chairman, not just a low-level guy, working with China, lying to the Department of Defense, doing all this stuff with them, getting millions of dollars on salary per month. I mean, come on, guys. And nobody's looking into this. Nobody cares. Everybody's like, oh, no, the science is settled. It came from a bat or whatever. I mean, come on, guys. I was not born yesterday. I don't care how many scientists you have. Look into this stuff. What's going on? And the real thing, I don't want to be a fearmonger or whatever, but to me, the one valid point or the best point that Tucker Carlson made, I tried to post it. Everyone said, oh my God, you're fearmongering. We get most of our antibiotics from China. This is the America first, in my opinion, that Trump is lacking on or, he hasn't gotten to yet, or people need to stop waiting for Trump to do it. Why are most of our antibiotics made in China? This is not good. The Chinese government, we talk about how communist they are. The Trump supporters say, oh my God, they're communists. They don't care about their people. They'd kill old people. Their air's polluted. They don't care about their people. Then why are we getting our antibiotics, our medicine? And then you got people on both sides who call me a conspiracy theorist, because I don't trust the medicine industry. I don't trust Big Pharma. I don't trust every single vaccine. I don't trust every single medication. Not because I'm an anti-vaxxer, because I'm a pro-normal person with a brain. You watch these medicine commercials. If you watch television, they say, don't take this medication if you've had a vaccine. Well, why? Because there's side effects. Because certain things interacting, whether it be with your biology, with some of your immune system, capabilities with some other medicine, there's a cause and effect. There's no medicine on the planet that I know of, besides probably even certain foods people are allergic to. You know what I'm saying? Even healthy foods that you can eat, peanuts, other people might die from. So obviously everything has a cause and effect, but they try to say, look at any medicine commercial. The point I'm trying to get to is, I don't trust a lot of things, especially when our antibiotics are coming from China. I don't think they like us. We're at a trade war with them. We're basically at a standoff, financial war with them, and we're getting all our medicine from there. And if you watch the Tucker Carlson piece, the Chinese government's basically threatening us and saying, oh yeah, you want to pull one over on us? You want to talk crap about us? Well, just know that we have all your medicine. And they're right. So, these are America first thing. Someone said because it's cheaper. They buy it because it's cheaper. And here's the flaw of American crony capitalism, whether you vote for Trump or you vote for, Hillary Clinton. It's cheaper. That's why a lot of people lean left and a lot of people look towards progressives, because they're tired of this, Charlie Kirk, Donald Trump style of capitalism. No offense, I'm just being honest. It's like, capitalism is so great, let's make money. It's not all about money. And progressivism isn't the answer. That would tank the whole system and be worse. But that's why people feel the way they feel. Yeah, we buy them from China because it's cheaper. Who cares? I could eat this, just take a bite of aluminum, and it's cheaper than, filet mignon. But why would I want to do that? It's not all about money. We should care about our people. We spend trillions of dollars on war, trillions of dollars in Afghanistan. I don't want to make it in China just because it's $2 less. I don't want to overuse plastic just because it's cheaper. Why don't we figure out what's best for people? And then the entire economy can, shift around that. Now with Bernie Sanders' plan of a forced 20 million new jobs with Green New Deal, that's never going to happen. No, I'm talking about a moral revolution that comes from the people. So I don't care that it's cheaper. It's also cheaper for them to, make people sick and then give them the cure for it. It's cheaper to, in some cases, to just eradicate entire towns in Iowa and move the work overseas and give it to somebody from India or send it to Mexico. It's cheaper, but that doesn't mean it's right. That's why we do it, of course. But we've been thinking in that mentality forever. It's cheaper, it's cheaper, it's cheaper. And what do we have now? We have an American country that politicians, corporations, they don't even like our people. We get our medicine from China. They don't give a crap about American citizens. They probably don't even give a crap about their own citizens. We have a bunch of pharmaceutical corporations that don't give two shits about our people. We have a bunch of industries that will kill people or mislead people into sickness to save a few extra bucks. That's what we have. Politicians that don't care at all about Americans. I mean, half of the political structure literally hates us. So, this is decades of crony capitalism mixed with a lot of other things, a lot of deception, a lot of lies, a lot of foreign influence, a lot of lobbying from the pharmacy industry, a lot of lobbying from the military-industrial complex. And I was just talking to my friend the other day because we were talking about how before he was pressured, Charlie Kirk he wants 40, 50 million new immigrants and H-1B visas. And he said, do you think Charlie's trying to destroy America? I said, I don't think he's purposely trying to destroy America. No, but where does he get money? People give him money, and who makes money? When you take Indian workers or you take, 40 million new work visas or whatever, however many work visas, corporations make money. So it's not like he's purposely trying to destroy America. But when someone shows up to you and says, hey, we're going to make $5 billion new if you make this change, it's not for the American worker. The American worker is going to lose money. The person in Wisconsin's, their wages are going to go down. But the big corporations, if they can get cheap labor, they make money. So are they purposely trying to destroy America? Probably not. They're just probably trying to get money, power, and political connections. But that's what we're trying to get away from. We don't want the Koch brothers. We don't want Mitt Romney. We don't want the John McCains. That's what we're trying to get away from. We were looking forward to the Donald Trumps of, we're going to put America first. And he's done a pretty good job. I think he's done a good job. But at the end of the day, this is the America first that I see for his next term when he wins or if he wins, which is really look at America and say, how are we going to help our people? And I think he's planning on doing that. But we got to make medicine in America. We have to cut the malarkey with no malarkey, like Biden says, of just everything cheap. Trump supports H-1B visas now. It's because he talks to the big billionaires who say, yeah, let's do these. They don't care about your wage. They don't care about your family. They want to make more money for their corporation. And in many ways, Trump's buying into it in some ways. And, there's a lot of resistance on the right of that. So I think these are the America First policies I'm looking forward to. And he's saying the CDC so great, they're doing such a great job, we're handling it. I get what he's trying to do. He's trying to raise the economy and make sure people don't panic, but we need to figure out what's going on. Italy's on lockdown. Places in America are on lockdown now. Are we facing a lockdown? Is it this bad? There's no clarity. I don't think it's personally this bad, but I'm not a scientist. Why are they doing all this stuff? Are they, so that's what I'm thinking. I'm going to read some comments now. And here, I'm going to read that. That looks like a good one. Cindy said, the Food and Drug Administration estimates that at least 80% of the active ingredients found in all of Americans' medicines come from abroad. Yeah, that's horrible. And you got to understand, we're basically at war with China. We're in a trade war because we're both industrialized nations who are too powerful and too strong to fight each other, and we're too smart. So we're at, a financial and strategic war with China. When we go to war with other countries, we just fight them because they're weak, but China's too powerful to do that. So we're at war with a country that we're getting medicine from. But this is even the Trump this is why we're in a trap, because the Trump capitalism is make money, economy, make it boom. That's great, but also, what are we doing? He does a better job than anyone else, but he needs help from his people to, that's why, no offense, but like the Diamond and Silks and stuff, they're just lapdogs, lackeys, and I'm not making, they do a great job, but they're not here to have the intellectual discussions that Tucker Carlson are about how our pharmaceuticals are being made overseas and, we got to do this stuff. They're just saying Trump, which is fine, but like when he's like, we're doing the best job we can with the coronavirus, we're the best, the CDC's the best. Are they? Is the CDC amazing now because Trump said it? Maybe, I don't think so, but are we doing a phenomenal job? No, I think we're massively underprepared. I think most people aren't taking tests. And we want some clarity, and I don't think we're getting that. But I'm not crying about it. I don't think it's like a fearful thing. Just prepare, buy as much food because they might try to quarantine us. And it's extremely creepy. And, I want to know what's going on. And I think personally, I agree with Dr. Shiva that I think they're prepping us for a mandatory vaccine. If they could shut down your city or shut down your town and put the National Guard there and the police there and you can't do anything about it, they're showing you how serious this is. I don't know that it is, but that's what they're saying to you. If it's that serious, when the vaccine's out, they can now try to mandate that vaccine and say, everyone has to get this vaccine. Because if you research their vaccine science, they say that vaccines don't work unless everyone gets them. No other medicine I know of works that way. Taking antibiotics doesn't work that way. But vaccines, if 95% of the population or whatever they say don't get them, then they don't work. It's group theory or whatever they say. So they're probably going to try to, the next time this virus just magically comes out of nowhere, they're going to try to tell everyone to get the vaccine. And guess what? I don't want to get it. Many people don't want to get it. I'm never going to get a coronavirus vaccine. I'm never going to get a flu vaccine. That's my American choice. I'm not knocking the science behind it. I don't want a flu vaccine and I don't need a coronavirus vaccine. I'd rather get coronavirus than the vaccine itself. Personally, that's my opinion on it, and I have the right. I'm not claiming I know the medicine behind it. I'm not claiming to be a doctor, but in this country you have medical freedom. You don't have to go take a vaccine, but that's what they're doing in a lot of liberal states. California, they say if you don't get it now, you can't come to school. You can't come here. This is what I think they're prepping for. And I think people are very foolish to not question Big Pharma. I'm not saying to question all science and, don't believe in any medicine. I'm not that type of person. But look at the history of Big Pharma. Look at the people behind it. Look at the Sackler family. Look at the opioid crisis. Look at the overprescriptions. Look at the fact they're giving your kids basically like speed, the version of like cocaine speed, which is Adderall when they're 13 and don't want to pay attention because they're creative. This is you're just going to try, oh yeah, this is totally normal. Yeah, they're doing it for our own good. I don't buy it. You can, but that's my right. So that's what I think they're prepping for. I think they're doing quarantines possibly soon and, possibly next year or so, they're going to say, here's the vaccine, everybody get it, and try to force people into it. That's my thought. Let's see. Let's read some comments. Yeah, I haven't had the flu in 3 years. I haven't had a sore throat in 3 years. And you know how I did that? What they're not saying. Exercise, sunshine, walks, better diet, stop eating so much cheese, stop eating so much bread, better mindset, stretching more, paying attention to my throat, not smoking so much weed that goes in, that damages your throat via smoke. This is how you stop getting sick. Most Americans, obesity is absolutely going to kill more people. It's I'm not trying to say it's not harmful. Yeah, it could spread, but something's fishy, man. All right. All right, let's see what you guys are talking about. Kendra said you're spot on today. Thank you, Kendra. I'm spot on every day. You just finally... No, I'm just playing. But... And this is the thing too. While I'm waiting for comments to come in that I can answer to, the thing with Trump is I think he's doing a good job, but if he doesn't drain the swamp is going to drain him. And like people are talking about with these shutdowns and all this stuff, impeachment's done. Now there's a new. It's never going to stop, And I'm not saying he can't make something up. He needs to find serious evidence of some sort of corruption and act on it, because these people are never going to stop. They're going to push and push and push and push like they do in other countries, and eventually they're going to hit a backlash, And Trump's done a great job of stopping that backlash because he's the change that a lot of people were looking for. But if they want to push on medical tyranny, speech tyranny, it's not gonna end well. So he needs to really get it together. All right, let's see what you guys are talking about. Someone said I would be more open to vaccines if they stopped including aborted fecal material and things like mercury and aluminum. I hear you. Guys, I have a new video. I had a technical difficulty, so I actually have to refilm it. But I'm doing a video on Bill Gates and Elon Musk. Bill Gates and Elon Musk have two different opinions on population and coronavirus. So I'm going to put their opinions. It's going to be a great viral video of what they're saying about population and what they're saying about coronavirus. And I'm excited to drop it. It's probably going to go tonight or tomorrow morning. I would have done it today, but I had my whole audio is all messed up. But yeah, check out my videos from the other day too. I guess the Biden one, the TV one, they're funny and pretty interesting. And they have advertisements on it, so I actually get paid. A lot of times they don't, so. Someone said, I think you're great. Any political ambitions? Wondered that for a while. I don't want to get involved in politics. I think it's a messy game. My thought, in order to help the country more, in my opinion, is a mindset problem. I don't think politicians can really help us. I think Trump and Bernie and all these people, Biden, they're a net sum of who we are. So we got to get better, and the politicians will follow that. So I don't think my best asset would be politics. I think we need like a whole cultural shift, a mindset shift. For healthcare, for example, who's going to save more lives? Include the coronavirus. Is it going to be Trump? Is it going to be Bernie Sanders? Is it going to be a coronavirus vaccine? Is it going to be Joe Biden? No, it's going to be American citizens when hundreds of millions of American citizens realize I need to stop watching so much TV. I need to work out more. You can't really see my arms now, but I look super strong. People like, when I work out for 10 minutes, I'm lucky in that sense, but also I walk a lot. Point I'm getting to is you don't have to work out for 5 hours. Work out with a resistance band or do a few pull-ups for 10 minutes and you'll look way better, or stretch if you don't stretch at all, stretch for 2 minutes. If you eat 20 things of bread a week, just eat 5. I eat bread, I eat cheese, I just don't buy it anymore. My throat feels better, my body feels better, I stretch more, I have better posture, I used to be slumped over. It's not that hard. I could do more now, but it's like if you do nothing, just do a little more. Point I'm trying to get to is politicians are not going to help the health of our nation. Our nation's going to help it. Stop taking all these, fake cures that they're like, do you have this? Well, you can take this. There's so many better ways to do that. So, to me, politics is a sloppy game. Someone said my body was able to heal itself from severe asthma when my Oriental MD was working together. The immune system is powerful. Your mind is powerful. When I even feel slightly down, like 2 weeks ago, I fell off for a day or two. I immediately booked an appointment at a little sauna, and this is not like $1 million sauna. Like, oh my God, Anami, you have so much money. No, it was like $30. It was pretty cheap. Cheaper than medicine. Went to a sauna for an hour. totally just sweated everything out, ate a lot of garlic, drank fluids massively for a day. I felt better in a day or two. I never got sick. It's like if I even feel, they don't tell you this stuff. They want you to just sit there, get sick. So you go to the doctors and take their pills. There's most things have a way to get over. Your immune system is very powerful. Your mind is very powerful. In some cases, you need help. You need surgery. That's totally normal. But they overprescribe everything. Everything's overprescribed because it's a business. They don't want people to be, they don't make money. If you're a business and you're selling a product, you need to sell the product. If the country's healthy, no one buys the product. It's the same with the Democratic Party. If no one has a victim mindset, if everybody has a mindset of personal responsibility and self-awareness, they don't have voters. So they need to keep racism alive. If there's no perceived threat of racism, who's going to vote for Kamala Harris? Who's going to vote for, Biden? Is that their guy? They don't make any sense. It's ridiculous. She calls him a racist. Oh, Joe Biden's a racist. And then she endorses him. So either he's not a racist and you lied and you lied, or he is a racist and you don't care because you have no morals. This is the Democratic Party. They call him a racist and then they endorse him. Is he not a racist? Then you're a liar. Admit you're a liar. Is he really a racist? Then you don't care about racism. Just like you didn't care when Governor Ralph Northam had a blackface KKK costume. They don't care about anything. They just need to constantly stir people up to freak people out. Sweat it out, totally works. Eat a lot of garlic, yeah. Mindset is high, I'm in healthcare. Absolutely. Stress causes a lot of sickness. Same with mindset. I met somebody one time, he was an elderly guy, and he said, he like chased me down. It was like prophetic, and he just said, to not get sick, I tell myself, I am perfect health. I am perfect health, And I thought it was interesting, and I get what he's saying now. They want you to feel down. There's some people who feel down every day, and they talk to themselves in a certain way. That's why certain words I don't want to say, you can't even invite this into your mindset, your life, because then it becomes a thing. And some people live in that world. They're unhealthy. They're, this, and they just constantly bash themselves. Of course you're going to get sick. How could you not? All right, let's read a few, and then I'm going to roll out. What do you think about what AOC said about people being racist for not eating Chinese food? Well, I think first of all, a lot of industries are suffering, because of this coronavirus. And I think she's full of malarkey. Look, I'll say this. Look at the video of AOC. Look at her saying that, and look at her eyes, and look at her eye contact, and just look into her eyes, look into the soul in her eyes. If you believe her, you got some issues. If you think she's a trustworthy person, she's just does she believe herself or does she not? I don't know. They're calling it the Wuhan virus is racist too. I mean, if a virus starts in America and you're, American businesses in China, you're a little suspect of, it's called common sense. It's not called racism. So people have a free market to eat what they want. If they're a little skeptical, I'm acting differently. I'm not inviting people over my house, or I said if in order to hang out with a woman, she needs to quarantine herself for 2 weeks before she texts me. That's a joke, but seriously, it's like everyone's taking precautions. There's nothing racist about it. It's just how people are acting. She calls everything racist. These people are not to be trusted. All right, read a few more. How can you look into her wild eyes? People need to just tell the truth to themselves. I said, everything's about self-accountability. I think of that in a spiritual way. Whatever you allow yourself, you allow to others. If you don't love yourself, you allow someone else to mistreat you. If you don't take care of yourself, you'll allow others to abuse you. So it's the same thing with truth. Whether you're a Republican who believes everything that Trump or Fox News says, or you're a liberal who believes AOC or CNN, you will accept the threshold that you allow to yourself. Do you lie to yourself? Then you're going to accept lies elsewhere. Do you not lie to yourself? Are you self-aware? Which means you're not perfect, but do you know your own flaws? Do you know your own mistakes? Do you know what you could do better? Do you know yourself? Then you won't believe a liar. So people are looking for Bernie Sanders or AOC or CNN. What they're really suffering from is internal. You fix internal. there's an overlap. I'm not saying all people, there's bad people on all sides, but it takes a certain person that's attracted to AOC and Bernie. A lot of them are younger. Bernie Sanders says, the future is with us. That's not true. Most young people lean left, and when they get older, they usually lean right. That's a normal progression, because when you're younger, you don't understand taxes, you don't understand how healthcare works, you don't understand how big government works, your brain's not fully developed, you haven't even paid rent before. These things you learn, and then you understand finances and economics, and then a lot of times people shift right. So the fact that he has a lot of young people in AOC, that's not surprising. I was a moron when I was 15, 16, 17, 18. I was an idiot. I would have voted for Eminem for president. You know what I'm saying? He's a terrible person. So, it's like these are the people they attract, and also people like Michael Moore who think, the government's going to take care of his health. When he has $50 million, he could take care of his health, but he doesn't take care of his health, so he's expecting to find a solution somewhere else. There's a massive overlap in these sort of things. Not all people, but you lie to yourself, you're going to accept liars. You got to get over the hump. Someone said, you grew up anomaly? I got much wiser. I grew up. When I liked Bernie, I didn't understand any economics. You have to understand, I didn't understand anything. I was broke. I paid taxes sort of out of paychecks that I never paid attention to. I never really paid taxes as far as in a real manner. I just let them take it out of my paycheck and give me money back. I never paid for health care. You're under your parents' health insurance in this country, I believe, until you're 26 is the age. So I never had to pay for health insurance. I didn't understand under Bernie Sanders and liberals that if I want to opt out and save $3,000, you're not allowed to. They penalize you. In California, penalize. Bernie Sanders takes the money. It's theft. They're saying, you want this, I'm taking your money, you need it. I don't want it. Or if you don't get it, I'm going to steal your money anyway. It's theft. What Bernie and Gavin Newsom do is theft. I didn't understand this until I was 27. I had to pay for my own health care, and I realized how stupid it was. I have to pay $3,000 a year for something that won't work, and if I don't want it, I can't not have it. That's what does Bernie thinks going to happen when the government does it? I mean, this is common sense stuff. But some people stay left wing, but to me, it lacks from a total lack of self-awareness. Do you know how many people want to tell me about healthcare? Not to be mean, but do you know how many people want to tell me about healthcare that are progressive, that don't take care of their own health? How are you going to tell me about healthcare? Take care of your own health, and then I'll listen to you. If you don't even take care of your own health, what's Bernie Sanders going to do for you? He's going to take your money and give you care? No doctor can save you. Work out, eat healthier, do some push-ups. I don't care. I'm not all about, you need to look a certain way. But if you're talking about health, half of our nation's obese. This is a preventable illness. Heart disease, most of it's preventable. It's from bad diets and bad workout process. There's a woman on Twitter that's 73 who's jacked. She went from being unhealthy to jacked in a year, and she's in her 70s. What's Michael Moore's excuse? He doesn't have one. But these are the type of people they attract. I'm not trying to be mean, but if they're bent over, their posture's terrible, they're 1,000 pounds overweight, trying to tell me about how to take care of my health. I take care of my health. I respect myself. I was getting fatter for a portion, and I said, what, I don't want to do this, and I started working out. I hike. I want stronger arms. I used to be weak when I was 23, 21. I had, skinny arms, and I decided probably not healthy, probably not good for my back, probably not good for my body. I'm not being mean. I don't care what someone else does, but it's always the people that don't take care of their own health that want to steal my money. At least if you're going to be unhealthy, leave me alone. I take care of myself. I take care of my health. I work out. I do push-ups. I do pull-ups. You don't take care of your health, and you're telling me what a good idea would be if the government took $3,000 a year from me, or $4,000 a year, or Gavin Newsom forced me into a health plan and took $2,000 from me. Leave me alone. Take care of yourself, and then come back and talk about healthcare. And I'm not trying to be mean, but there's a serious overlap. I've pretty much talked to zero progressives who take care of themselves better than me, who want to tell me about healthcare. Every progressive that wants to scream in my face about how they want to take a couple $1,000s a year and how much it'll help me, they're not healthy people. They're not mentally healthy. They're not spiritually healthy. And most of them are certainly not physically healthy. And I can't help but notice the pattern. All right. Someone said corporations don't pay taxes, period. You pay for everything as a consumer. I don't know that they don't pay any taxes, but I'm sure they have every loophole under the sun. And for sure, there's definitely some scammy stuff. But here's the dynamic that people on the left don't understand. I would love corporations to pay for more taxes, but what you don't understand is that goes to the government. You have to have a real strategy to make it work, but that's why Bernie doesn't want to win, because he just wants to talk about it. You could take all of the Walton's money, all of the Buffett's money, all of the Gates money, all of the Bezos money, all of the Bloomberg money, all of the Trump money, give it to the federal government, and it's not going to improve Americans' health at all. It's not going to improve anything in America. The government doesn't handle funds well. So if you want to, take more money from corporations, I'm fine with it. I think they probably do scam us with taxes, but that doesn't make it a solution. And that's what Bernie knows. That's why he doesn't want to win. That's why he's going to endorse Joe Biden, because he knows his talking points mean nothing. I think the government's scamming us. I think corporations are scamming us. But the difference between me and a Charlie Kirk or me and a Bernie Sanders are, I don't think capitalism is not, it is crony. Capitalism. Yeah, let's sell out American workers for visas. Let's not do that, bro. And then Bernie Sanders, oh my God, the corporations are corrupt. Yeah, but you think the government's going to handle that money. And there's the two-party trap. Is it the corporations or the government? Doesn't matter. They both don't care about you, and they're both squandering money. I would say corporations handle money better than the government does if I had to choose one, which is why I lean right and why I want to maintain personal liberty. I don't trust the government with anything, whether it's medicine, anything they do. Just leave me alone. That's why I lean libertarian. Very simple. But it doesn't mean capitalism's perfect. And it certainly doesn't mean the government's perfect, and progressives don't understand that. There's a debate coming out today with my buddy that's airing on his channel. I'll probably put it on my YouTube or something. We had a big debate, and he kept talking about corporations, but bro, every time I said, but that money going to the government, are they going to handle it? There's nothing to say. It's not. You have to just ignore that and just keep yelling. It's annoying. All right, let's read a few more comments. Sarah said, you're on fire. Thank you for being legit. You're welcome. I mean, what else can you be in this world? Too many people care about money over everything. And you have to understand, in politics, on the left and the right, there's people you guys look up to that you think care about you, but they don't. They care about money and power and connections. And I'll give you an example of that as well. Let's talk about CPAC. I didn't go this year. Everyone went to CPAC, okay? That's the Conservative Political Action Committee. They say, oh, the left is so corrupt. We care about you. We care about the American worker. We're the party of the people, blah, blah, blah. Okay, whatever. So someone there had coronavirus, and it was someone, a donor or somebody that was very powerful, that was backstage with everybody. So the people that he shook hands with everyone. Basically, that person probably could have spread it to the entire thing, because it wasn't just a random person. It was someone well-connected. So what did CPAC do in response to that? They told Ted Cruz who it was, they told a few senators who it was, and then they left the entire CPAC in the dark. So what are they telling you at CPAC? You don't matter as much as Ted Cruz. You don't matter as much as Matt Gaetz. You don't matter as much as the politicians. We don't care about you. What did Ted Cruz and Matt Gaetz do? They shut down their office for a week. So they take the precaution for themselves. We're going to shut down our office. We don't want to spread this. We don't want to hurt anybody. But what do they do to the thousands of people who attended? You can go spread it to your family. You could spread it to your baby. You could spread it to your grandma. We don't give a fuck about you. Sorry, I don't mean to curse, but that's who a lot of these conservatives are. They just masquerade themselves as, oh, we're better than the left. We care. They don't give a crap about you. If they cared about you, they would have told you who the person was, just like they told Ted Cruz, just like they told Matt Gaetz. Someone who attended it, I think it was Rasim Kahim, or whatever his name is, from the UK, he told people who it was so they could prepare themselves like all the politicians did. And CPAC, the owner, got mad at him. He said, oh my God, he's driving a stake through my heart. No, bro, he's doing what you should have done. If it's so serious that Matt Gaetz wants to shut his office down, if it's so serious that Ted Cruz wants to shut his office down, if it's so serious that you tell them and you leave thousands of us normies in the dark who, come on, that's what they think about you. A lot of these conservatives, they masquerade themselves as, but they're just sucking the power teat of money and power and control. They don't give a crap about you. They want to speak at CPAC. They want to get $20,000 speeches so they can come to your school and tell you how they're standing up for America and free speech when they're not standing up for free speech. and they're selling out American workers via the immigration policy. They don't give a crap. So, people say, thank you for being legit. You're welcome, but you have to understand, I don't talk about other people to compare, oh my God, Anomaly's jealous and envious. I'm not envious. My life is fantastic. I would never want to be these people. There's not an amount of money you could pay me to be these people. I don't want what they have. I don't want corporations. I don't want money. I don't want power. I'm doing fantastically. I don't want that. I don't envy that at all. I want you to know that a lot of these people don't care. Look at how they handled CPAC. They told certain people they quarantined themselves. What about the thousands of people who attended? If you're not following what I'm saying, someone had coronavirus, could have spread it to a lot of people, and they only told certain GOP elites and told the rest of CPAC that they're not important enough to know who it is. What if you're taking care of your grandma and don't you have the right to know if you shook hands with the person with coronavirus? I mean, these people don't. Every day they show that. So, all right, we're gonna read a few of these. As far as testing, the bottom line, the doctor has to order it. I got it. Wow, you're really making me see the truth. Thank you. You're welcome, Michael. I've been saying these things for a year, and it's not been popular. Anomaly, why do you keep talking about Ben Shapiro and Charlie Kirk? I'm not envious or jealous. I'm just saying they don't care about free speech. They're behind the selling out of free speech. Just like the Koch brothers didn't care about closed borders. They pretended to be Republicans for 20 years until Trump won, and all of a sudden they're open borders. They never cared. McCain never cared. Romney never cared. And a lot of these conservatives don't care. They care about money. They care about power. They care about control. They care about getting booked at college campuses. They could care less if it means selling out free speech, selling out the American worker, or telling Ted Cruz and Matt Gaetz about a disease that could kill your grandma and not letting you know. It's telling you you're not important enough to know what they know. This is what they do. This is why I didn't attend it. This is why I don't care about these people. Oh, Anomaly, I don't want to go there. If it's an event that doesn't care about America, I'm not going to speak there. I don't care if they paid me $50,000. I'll go and say, hey, I got $50,000 to be here. These people don't care about you. And then they'll take the money back. I've never gotten nearly that amount of money to speak. I'm just saying, if they I don't want what they have. I can't, there's no amount of money that's going to make me lie. I don't care. Someone said to stop touching your face. It's fine. I wash my hands. How do you think the Democrats are handling the virus? I think both parties are handling it pretty porously. I think the Democrats don't care about anything. They just want to take Trump down, and it's dangerous. I think the trap of that is now people say, oh, Trump's handling it great because the Democrats are sabotaging us. In my opinion, I don't think it's being handled great by his administration, and I don't like what the GOP elites are doing. They're taking precautions for themselves and their own workforces. Meanwhile, they're keeping all these people who attended CPAC in the dark about what they're doing. So they're giving me the message that we matter more than you. We get information that you don't get. To me, that was disgusting what they did. They told two people who the coronavirus person was at CPAC, didn't tell everyone else, and they needed one journalist leaked it to everybody, and then they screamed at him. How dare you tell everybody? No, that's the right thing to do. You don't know who's attending that. What if they take care of their kids? They have a right to know, just like Ted Cruz has a right to know. It's ridiculous. Someone said, Anomaly, David Harris and ABL got letters in the mail from CPAC saying possible infection last week before Cruz and them went into quarantine. The reason Cruz and Gaetz went into quarantine, though, was everyone got that letter being broad. Cruz and Gaetz went into quarantine because they shook hands with the person who had it. They were talking to the person who had it. It was a big person. It was like a donor type person. It wasn't a small fry type person. So they gave the message to everybody, a random broad message, but then they told Cruz and Gaetz directly who it was, and they both shook hands with the guy, so they both went into quarantine for that reason. So if they're going to tell Ted Cruz who it is, and Matt Gaetz, people deserve to, if I go to CPAC, I want to know if I shook hands with the guy. That's not why. Everyone got a message. Yes, somebody there had it, but that's broad. What does that mean? Yeah, very little. That's what I'm saying. Very little info for you. All the info to Ted Cruz. Rashim Kahim, I don't know what his name, Rashim Kahim or something. He told everybody who it was, and they got pissed at him. But honestly, I think that was the right thing to do. Tell us what you would do and how you would have handled it. I mean, I just told you. If I told Ted Cruz and Matt Gaetz, I would have told everyone. If it's important enough for Matt Gaetz and Ted Cruz to know, everyone deserves to know, in my opinion. either be broad about it or don't be broad. But to me, I don't think that should be kept secret. If it's as bad as they're saying and they're quarantining themselves, then tell everyone. I just told you. All right, Matt Gates, yeah, whatever. Transparency. It's a HIPAA violation? What, you're not allowed to say it? Well, then how did they tell Ted Cruz and Matt Gaetz? I mean, I don't know the law, but when certain people know and certain people take precautions and everyone else doesn't know, I don't understand. So they can quarantine. What law says they can quarantine an entire town, but they're not allowed to tell people at it? So they're quarantining entire towns, but you're not allowed to know who has it. Maybe that's the law, but it doesn't make sense to me. Do you think Biden is showing signs of dementia? Said Jody Bass. I think so. Personally, yeah. Do you consider coronavirus being released as genocide? I wouldn't say that, but watch my video on Elon Musk and Bill Gates. It's going to come out today or later or tomorrow morning. Watch that video because you're going to see what Bill Gates thinks about population. You're going to see how he's keeping population down, and you can decide what they're doing. Because I don't want to ruin it right now. I have a whole great presentation on Bill Gates and Elon Musk, so you can listen to what they want to do and who's behind this stuff. All right, let's switch the topic. Okay, should we be buying 6 months of food and getting ready for Italy here? Lisa, that's a good question. I would go to the store today and buy as much food as possible because here's the thing. I get that people think it's overhyped, but if the government shuts down your city, it doesn't matter how serious it is or not. That's a real possibility that's happening, and it's looking like it's more likely now than ever. I already bought food, but I'm going to go buy more food. It's not because I do think it's being overhyped. I do think it's a mass panic. I agree that there's a lot of fear-mongering involved, but if the government decides to shut down my city, what does that matter? You get what I'm saying? Same with you. You could think it's a total lie. You could think it's harmless. You could think it's all this stuff, which in many ways I do agree with. But if they quarantine you, it doesn't matter. If it's not that serious in Italy, what matters is they can't leave their work. They're shutting down South by Southwest. They're shutting down schools. This is unprecedented. We've never seen this. And it's not like maybe it's going to happen. It's already happening. So I would buy food today. I'm going to buy more food, not because I'm scared to catch the virus, because they could quarantine my city. And the thing is, if you have too much food, it's not a bad thing. You can eat it, or, worst comes to worst, lose a little money. But if they shut it down, would you rather cook for yourself or would you rather ask the National Guard to come drop off food? I'd rather cook for myself. Deborah said I've stocked up for my pets. Deborah, you're a good pet mom. Someone said, remember toys from China trained with lead? I don't, but not surprising. All right, someone said, and Michelle said, no, that's horrible advice. Don't overbuy. We are in LA. It's shut down. There's so much food on the shelves. It's not horrible advice. If they quarantine you in LA, and Michelle, it's okay to overbuy. To me, you can make a decision for yourself. You're an adult. I'd rather overbuy than underprepare. I'm not afraid of the virus personally, but if they quarantine my city like they quarantined Italy, like they've quarantined certain parts of New York, you're going to want food. This is not like maybe it'll happen. They're shutting down schools. Everywhere's being affected already. It's not like maybe it's already happening. So if they quarantine your city, are you going to cry that you have too much food? You could cook and eat the food. It's fine. Have a party if not. Someone said, I hope they don't shut off the electricity after everyone gets the food. I don't think they're going to shut off the electricity, but I don't know. I have a bunch of beans. To be honest, I've been prepared for years for earthquake or some other event. I've had soup and beans for years before the coronavirus. I think it's smart to be prepared for anything. It's like a win-win. If nothing happens, whatever. I have beans. I have a lot of beans. Shelves could be empty by April. I would shop now. I'm not saying fear-mongering, but why wouldn't you want to be prepared? I don't get it. Would you travel by plane? If I had to, yeah. I don't think it's that big of a deal. Am I going to? No, absolutely not. I don't think it's a big deal. If you want to vacation now, it's probably a good time to get cheap flights and stuff, or you want to visit someone, you could probably travel fine. I don't think it's that big of a deal, but am I going to travel? Nah, I'm good. I'm going to wait it out for a few months. Someone said, I can't go to Target right now and get toilet paper. Someone said, just got back from Jersey. They're crazy down there. It could get weird, guys. I mean, what's happening already is unprecedented. I'm not buying into the fear. I'm not buying into the hype. But I am it's not like nothing's happening. They're shutting down festivals, they're shutting down events, they're shutting down entire industries, they're shutting down schools. It's a big deal. It's not maybe this will happen, it's already happening. I can't control if the city of in California wants to shut down and quarantine. What does my opinion matter? What does your opinion matter? Oh, it's overhyped. It doesn't matter if they shut down your city. I think so, but what if they do that? You know, I don't want to wait around and wonder what happens. Someone said, military in Italy, please pray for our soldiers. For sure. Someone said, I just flew and it's fine. It's fine, absolutely. But I'm just saying, I think it would be smart to be prepared. Because we've had outbreaks, but here's the thing. With SARS, with all these other ones, have you ever seen a city on quarantine? No. Have you ever seen school shut down? No. Have you ever seen South by Southwest and Coachella shut down? No. This is unprecedented. I'm not saying it's worse systemically, like virus-wise. You could say it's less harmful than SARS if you want to make that argument. What I'm saying is it's past the point of speculation. This is an unprecedented situation, whether they're overhyping it or not. You'd be very wise to be prepared. I think it's very foolish to say, oh, we've had this every year. They've never shut down festivals. They've never shut down schools. They've never shut down industries. They've never quarantined entire countries. This has never happened. It's not true. Hope for the best, but be ready for the worst. Absolutely. Dow is down since who called it a global pandemic? And you got to understand, even the Trump administration, they're saying it's going to get worse. I watched Mike Pence speak, and he's like, we're planning, it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. He's saying that. This is not Democrats. It's Republicans saying it's going to get worse. So it's political. That's why it's unprecedented. Yeah, but even Pence is saying it's going to get worse. I'm not here arguing. I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about my health. I'm not worried about America. But if they quarantine and shut stuff down, you're going to want to be prepared. Someone said, I've seen schools shut down over the flu. Christy, people, you could lie to yourself. It doesn't bother me. Individual schools have been shut down over the flu. You've never seen a nationwide shutdown of schools. You've never seen a nationwide shutdown of events. You've never seen a nationwide shutdown of certain industries and events. This is unprecedented. You can lie to yourself as much as you want and say you've seen it. They've shut down school because of snow. They've shut it down because of flu, but we've never had a nationwide shutdown of this sort. I'm not saying it's justified. I'm saying it's happening. You stop lying to yourself. This has never been had before. You've never seen this much stuff shut down. I'm not saying it should be shut down. I'm just saying the reality is it's happening. We can't lie to ourselves about it. Be prepared. Why wouldn't you? Someone said, I'm not even sure why they're shutting down schools. They're shutting down a lot of stuff. They're quarantining certain places. I'm not sitting here saying it's justified or it's right or we've never had people die and get sick before. I'm saying how they're responding to it is already a fact. It's already happening. College is shut down here in Kentucky. It's unprecedented. They're shutting down colleges nationwide. All right, I'm going to leave in a couple minutes. Diane said homeschooling is not a problem. Exactly. Someone said worse is not more deadly. Dan, we're gonna end on this note. I'm not saying it's more deadly. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying it's worse than these things. I'm not saying this stuff. What I'm saying is the response that you can't control, that I can't control, that you can't change, that I can't change, is unprecedented. I'm not saying how many people are dying. I'm saying they're shutting down schools nationwide. They're shutting down events. They're quarantining certain places. They're quarantining entire cities. And there's a high chance that it could happen in the United States. And Mike Pence himself is basically saying it's going to happen. So if you keep lying to yourself, what are you trying to accomplish? I'm not saying it's deadly. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying it's not overhyped. I'm saying our response to it that no one can control is obviously 20 times more serious than anything we've ever said. So prepare or don't. I mean, what? I don't understand why people are arguing with me. What What are you trying to accomplish? You're scapegoating what I'm saying. I never said it was a million times more deadly and it's going to kill people. If your city's on quarantine and the National Guard is there, your opinion doesn't matter. What I just said matters. Someone said I've canned for a few years. Yeah, get cans. It's not a big deal. I have beans in cans, soup in cans. I've had this. Someone said you always say you're leaving for a couple of minutes and then stick around for another hour. Fact check, true. I have to use the restroom though. I have to pee, so. I think this is being overhyped personally, but if they quarantine your city, it doesn't matter how deadly or not deadly it is. It matters that you're not going to be able to leave your house. You might not be able to leave the city. This is not like maybe this is not a crazy theory. It's happening in Italy. It's happening in New York. It could happen near you. Why? I mean, what's the point of that's just reality. Be prepared. I'm going to go to the store right now. I got to pee first, though. It's going to hurt the economy bad. It's absolutely going to hurt the economy bad. It absolutely already has hurt the economy bad. And if it's going to get worse, it's going to hurt the economy worse. I hope it gets better. I hope they stop overhyping it. I hope they find a way to curb it. I don't think it's really as deadly as they're saying in the first place, personally. But that's not going to fix the economy. Your opinion on that's not going to change the economy. Your opinion on that's not going to stop quarantines. Your opinion on that's not going to stop the fact that they're going to maybe keep you where you're at. That's the reality of the situation. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I'm reading the comments. I don't understand how much more clear I could have been. Don't forget to wash your hands. Absolutely. I'm not saying cry and complain about it, but depending where you live, if you live in a major city or you live in one of the areas, they might not let you leave, and I would rather cook for myself than have the National Guard come over my house. I don't know. I'm going to go get a bunch of meat and put it in the freezer because I'm not worried about year-long quarantine. I'm just like, it's kind of creepy. Is it not? Wouldn't it be creepy if you can't leave your house? I'm creeped out. I gotta pee so bad. Thank you, Catherine. So what's the chess move they're trying to do? I mean, you figure it out. I don't know. I can't predict, and I don't like to claim things I don't know, but I mean, look what's happening. Economic shutdown, mass panic, quarantines, cure, vaccine coming soon. You know, I'm no scientist, but those are the results, you know. So somebody's gonna make money from that, and somebody's gonna benefit from that. Who's gonna benefit? China, Democrats, Trump, this, that. I don't know. You can figure it out. I'm not being mean. I literally don't know, and maybe you could figure it out. But right now, there's so many options and like ways that this could be beneficial or hurting someone that I'm unclear. Linda said, only the elderly and immune compromised person should worry about the virus. The rest of us should calm down. Linda, we're calm here. We're just saying if the government quarantines you where you're at and you're not allowed to leave, it doesn't matter what you think about the elderly. It doesn't matter what you think about the immune deficient. What matters is regardless of what you say, regardless of how true it is, you're not going to be able to leave your house. And that's not like a maybe or like a crazy, there's like a 50-50 or a 20% or a 30% or a 40% chance that may happen now, depending on where you live. It's not fear-mongering, it's reality. It's happening already in the United States. And Mike Pence, Republican, is saying it's going to get worse. I don't think it's terrible, but if you're quarantined, it doesn't matter what you think about that. That's the point I'm getting to. It's what I've said the entire time. I don't think it's that bad. I think the death rate's lower because I think 95% of the people who get it probably never even go to the doctor or get a test. Thank you guys. Sheesh. Someone said, "Don't be mad at me. I'm not mad. I'm just trying to get my point across, and I want people to be prepared. I see there's nothing wrong. If you get canned goods, you'll have them for a year. So there's no loss unless you're really short on money and you can't afford, dollar canned goods, what's the bad thing about being prepared? It's not buying into the hype. The government is buying into the hype, and you can't stop them from buying into the hype. So if they decide to quarantine you or put you under martial law, it doesn't matter what you think. They did it. Are you going to be able to stop the police force and the military from showing up to your city if there's an outbreak there? You're not. So just get some canned goods. Where are the quarantines? Somewhere in New York. I think like Roswell or something. I forget the name of it. Someplace in New York they're quarantining. In Italy, they've put an entire city under quarantine. But how... I don't know. You got to read about what they're doing in New York. It's creepy. They got the National Guard. It's some creepy stuff. Oh, I almost knocked over my light. Good catch. I got them Bernie Sanders reflexes. All right, one more question, and then I'm gonna roll out. Get steak dinners. I'm gonna buy all the steak. No, I hear you, brother. I'm gonna buy a lot of meat too, because it's probably gonna be like a month thing, if anything, or a couple weeks. So I'm gonna buy a bunch of meat and throw it in the freezer. I hear you. Someone said my wife is going to shop today, but not out of panic. I don't think it's a panic. I'm not scared. I mean, there's nothing to be afraid of. But you get what I'm saying? If the government decides to take drastic measures, which you've already seen a ramp up. Do you know how much money's in Coachella? Do you know how much money's in South by Southwest? I'll give you hints. Millions. They're not going to cancel this, nilly-willy. Things are canceling schools. People are losing billions of dollars. That's why the stock market's going down. Billions of dollars are being lost because people... So it's ramping up. I can't stop schools. I can't stop South by Southwest. I can't stop the police. I can't stop the military. My opinion about how bad it is doesn't matter. Your opinion about how bad it is doesn't matter. If they're treating it like this and they're not stopping and they're telling you they're going to go further, it would be very foolish, in my opinion, not to prepare. It's not panic. It's common sense. It's not fear-mongering. It's realizing your place in the world and that your opinion and my opinion don't matter against the National Guard and the military's opinion. William said, what happens if a more serious virus happens? You tell me. I mean, that's why we got to drain the swamp and get to the core of things, because these things are never going to stop. If you don't get to the core of why things are happening, they're never going to end. They're never going to stop. So that's why it's like, people are saying, trust Jeff Sessions, trust the plan, trust Jeff Sessions. If you saw on Twitter last night, Trump is endorsing Tommy Tuberville, who's going against Sessions. So if Trump trusts Sessions so much, he's not even campaigning for the guy, I'm not saying to not have hope, but this blind, they're going to drain the swamp. Are they? I don't know. We'll see. I hope so, because if they don't, these people are never going to stop. It's like Bernie Sanders. When he bows down to the establishment, they're never going to stop cheating, his people or hating his people. Why would they? They don't have to. Now he's losing outright. They don't even have to cheat him. You can't incentivize somebody to do something and think it's going to go away. Someone said this is a beta test. It's very sketchy. And I would love for somebody to really get to the bottom of it. But, all right, that's enough. I'll be back later. Video later today or tomorrow. Bill Gates and Elon Musk, two very smart guys, two very successful guys, two very different opinions on population and coronavirus. And I'm going to do a really great informational video about that so you can see what Bill Gates really thinks about population, not just the theories from the left and the right. What Elon Musk really thinks about population, what they think about coronavirus, and then I'll let you guys decide for yourself what you think. It's going to be very interesting. I think it's going to be a smash hit. I'm excited to do it, and my life has purpose because I make videos like this. If I was just a Bernie bro and I was just waiting for Yang Gang $1,000 a month, I'd be miserable all the time. But, things like this make my life a little exciting, especially in times of, not traveling as much. I'm not saying you have to, but I personally am choosing to. So thank you guys. I had a blast today. God bless you guys. God bless your family. God bless America. God bless the world. I'll say the only thing if you want to do is sign up to my free email list. It's above this video or to the side. If you don't want to do that, I don't care. I would say if you want to help me, just watch one of the last videos. They actually got monetized, which is fantastic for me. A lot of times they don't, or they don't late. So it looks good. And while it's coming, I like to get it because Facebook tends to be good, and then for like 5 videos they demonetize or like wait a day, so I lose a lot of money. It's not all about money, but you get what I'm saying. I'm just being honest. Watch my videos. I don't need like donor box, Patreon, anything right now. I'm just doing the free email list, and check out the videos because they actually got ads on them, and it doesn't always happen. So and I like the videos. The Biden one, some classics. The TV one. Someone said go wash your hands. Yeah, I'm gonna wash my hands. I'm gonna wash my face. I might just jump in the shower. I touch my face too much. But I'm fine. I'm going to drink some apple cider vinegar. I got some kombucha. I got some coffee. I got some garlic. I got some onions. I got some chicken. I got some steak. I got some filet mignons or something like that. The cheaper version because I didn't feel like paying $26. I got some green peppers, the organic ones. I got some jalapeno peppers. I got the good ones. I'm going to stir all of it up, man. I'm going to put some cayenne sauce in it. I'm going to put some olive oil in it, organic, fresh pressed. You know what I'm saying? The sickness is not going to be able to penetrate my stir fry. It's all going to stir up there together, and then I'm going to eat it and watch some basketball. And the coronavirus is going to look at me and be like, oh shit, Anomaly's got garlic and fresh pressed olive oil. And I'm going to be like, listen, bro, you got to go, fam. And it's just going to die on the spot. So I'm not that worried about it. Neither should you be. But prepare. Buy some goods. The government could quarantine you, and that's not fear-mongering. It's a reality. I don't want it to happen, but it looks like it could. All right. Someone said, I'm coming over for dinner. Lisa, if you show up, the cops are going to be here too. No, I'm just kidding. But, well, seriously. But, jokes aside. Have a good day, guys. I'll be back.